Welcome all who have come to listen to my first rainy day confessions, and I'm not here to offend or give off any wrong impressions, but I believe this is the best way an introvert can freely speak his mind, and this pen and paper I write upon are a part of me, so I think of them as an extension of my own inner monologue, where I view my mind as my most trusted confidant. I open up with, what happened to the world? I'm generally confused as to how a place that can create such wonders like a sunset or pearls can also sustain such hateful and evil beings whose only objective in their existence is to be deceitful and misleading. And our society has far too many people put in a place of power calling the shots, believing they are the voice of an entire group or nation, but I think that they forgot that our nation is a diverse cultural hub. I mean, there's a reason why it's called a melting pot. But I bet they're the type of people who believe the Confederacy won and Mayo is hot. I guess I really should back up and start small when airing out my mind. It's just my faith in humanity has just been on the abrupt decline ever since the devil himself released his legion of spies where they infiltrated my life and took the forms of physical abuse in my motherly bloodline. It's fine because I've healed from those egregious wounds by constructing a cage around my soft interior and flipped the switch to shut off any emotional ties with anyone before they can execute their ulterior motive, thus leaving me with a shattered shell and a cold exterior. But with a brain and voice so monotone and robotic, I can easily say I hate the company of strangers. I have it ingrained in my soul that the human race does not want what's best for me. Instead, they look to endanger any attempt for happy existence. For instance, how come people only remember the negatives? Like, no matter how many acts of kindness you can provide, ultimately doesn't matter and you are not credited with a good job or thank you. Instead, you may get lost in the daily hustle and bustle of life and forget to pick up milk or forget what day it is one time and get scolded for it. But remember to the weeks prior where every day you put aside your own personal agenda just to make sure everyone around you smile and flourish? This is why I'm so closed off with humanity as a whole. I know, so bold that I'm greatly generalizing and I should learn to control my emotions and thoughts, not letting my views on the world decline or plateau. Yeah, maybe I'm just bitter and cold, or maybe it's because I'm just a 28-year-old who's experienced moments that should crush one's soul. And I'm aware that I'm very much a hypocrite because I'm generalizing humanity to be nothing but a poison in my life, and I'm quick to judge a book by its cover. But my biggest gripe with our nation right now is the hatred and generalization of every race, culture, orientation, or personnel that decides to wake up, put on a badge, and genuinely wants to help others. There will always be extremists no matter what it is, but not all cops are bloodthirsty racists, and not all middle-aged white women are Karens. No one is better or worse based on their color or complexion, or just because they might be different from you and have views that seem foreign. It's true that some who have sworn an oath to protect and serve our communities have twisted ideals and a warped sense of justice, causing to give little to no care for those just because they have a different skin pigmentation and are viewed as treacherous. Those hateful few should be thrusted and cut out while we wield our words as a sharp cutlass, but please don't think the actions of a few reflect them as a whole. It's like we are forever stuck in a cycle of stereotyping everyone, and it's just getting out of control. Like I said before, I'm aware that I'm being hypocritical and feeding into this gluttonous beast of hate and distrust, but what sets me apart from our nation is the fact that I'm taking positive steps to overcome this mindset, and how I view humanity will readjust. My lust to be closed off from everyone will weaken and rust, and I will not continue to give sustenance to this ever-growing hate-filled creature. Instead, I will extend my hand in the opposite direction and offer kindness and a hello to those I once avoided because they are a stranger. I honestly believe if I can reverse my perception and spread love, then together we can slay this malignant entity and become its reaper. Yes, I understand with the past figurehead things are quite tense. The things he does and the words he says causes outrage or harm and demands immediate recompense. But maybe instead of lighting that short fuse of indignation and resorting to violence which leads to a nation divided and bruised, we should all pursue alternate avenues where the outcome is having our voices heard without condemning another group to its doom. And I honestly think everyone should go back to kindergarten, me included. It was there we learned a rule that is golden, and how we should treat others, and that rule was rooted into our young minds, and at recess or lunch we talked and played with anyone and everyone, sat crisscross applesauce with our classmates during story time, or shared a sink with your table after arts and crafts as you wash out the glitter and grime. Imagine a world today where you didn't care about what someone's beliefs are or what color their skin was, and all you cared about was being a genuinely nice person and whether someone would trade you their Oreos for your fruit cup.